I understand at Chilli IT you've been testing the cyber resiliency features, the safeguarded copy that IBM have recently released on the FlashSystem series. So, really, I think what we'd like to hear about today is your experience of, using the functionality, and really, I think crucially for the audience today, what you're hearing from your clients. And I know you've got a number of people in the pipeline wanting to test with their own data on the safeguarded copy function. So, what demand are you seeing from clients? Why do they see this as so crucial?
Yeah. Hi, Martin. Thanks very much. Yeah, basically our testing's gone really well, excellent, as we'd expect with Spectrum Virtualize and FlashSystem 5200. Implementation really straightforward. Create volume groups, create a policy, connecting it to CSM. Straightforward installation there. Session gets created. Add your policy, start your policy, safeguarded backup to them working. No problems whatsoever in terms of any issues associated with the retention and what's going on under the covers from what we can see technically. Snapshot itself, 2% of the volume is pre-allocated, and then your snapshots under the Spectrum Virtualize, depending on what your retention stroke cycle is, off and running and built into the version of Storewise. So really good so far.
And I think you guys like the fact that you've got this sort of separation of duties. I mean, you mentioned CSM, but sort of separating that out so that, you've got, you can have a storage administrator, if you like, but you could potentially have a completely separate security officer, in control of when they actually need to do the restore, for example.
Yeah, Ian, I think it's critical that people understand the super user capability within Virtualize.
Yeah.
is a really high-powered user profile. So setting up correct administration rights at the storage layer, and again setting up the CSM layer so that ultimately you have different responsibilities is again going to be crucial to accept successful, safeguarded policy.
Yeah.
And Jack, I know you've been testing this on VMware with a load of ESX virtual machines, including SQL Server. How have you been finding that that's been working in particular?
Yeah, pretty good overall. To be honest, spent the last 7 days really going through it, testing it. So it tested various tests. So I've done backups of Veeam servers and then restores of those Veeam servers and tested the backups of them. We've done multiple recovery jobs as well. So overall, the features and functionality have been pretty good. Yeah. Spot on.
Excellent. And so, in terms of, I guess the clients that you've got lined up, what are your clients telling you? Why are they so keen to test this functionality so soon after release?
I think the customers that we've got have got spare capacity, and from that perspective, they've been used to doing flash copy. And whilst the flash copy is a great addition to options around backup and recovery, those flash copies aren't really that protected, and therefore being able to sort of deploy a safeguarded copy, a mutable copy, is adding that extra layer of protection that will make them feel a little bit more safer in the event of that, of that attack. So we see safeguarded copy as an additional part of the whole HA and recovery procedure, whether that be Hyperswap, Metro Mirror, Global Mirror, whether you're still doing your local backups to tape, VTL, or even cloud-based. Safeguarded copy is a good piece of technology that I think most people these days, with ransomware in the news and everything that's going on around it, are going to want to deploy. I don't think these days people are seeing it as a nice to have. We are expecting most customers in the next 12 to 18 months to want to deploy this technology somewhere in their organization. And the customers who have invested in the IBM flash systems, get that, free of charge within Virtualize, and together with CSM, you've got an end-to-end solution. So that's great.
Perfect. With rapid recovery, which is the really key piece, I think, isn't it? Because it's like the old days of backups, isn't it? The backup is of no use if you can't actually restore it, and obviously that's the key value here. It's being able to get a customer's production environment back up and running super quick.
Absolutely, Ian. I think as we know, with snapshot capability, flash copy capability within Storewise, you don't have to wait for that no copy to finish. So as soon as that snapshot flash copy has been processed, that data is immediately available to be, IPL'd, booted, even though there's a background copy going on. So that speed of recovery is going to be essential for those people who are, under pressure to, they feel they've had an attack, they want to get something checked out, and they're not having to wait hours and hours, especially if that was an off-site backup. Bringing that back from a cloud-based, could take a couple of hours. With what we've got here, under the snapshot capability with Virtualize and Safeguarded Copy, we're virtually instant into sort of getting that box back up and running. Absolutely. And that's going to be great for a lot of customers.
No, it's brilliant. I mean, I think, in terms of, you've mentioned it's a piece of the story. It's the lowest RPO and RTO that people are going to get in terms of that data resilience strategy. And obviously, IBM, we do pretty much all components of that data resilience strategy, all the way from the safeguarded copy, all the way through, normal data protection software, and then obviously to the tape that people can be used for air gapped. And I'm sure that, I guess, Chilli, you play in all of those places as well.
Hugely. This, I think, over the next 12 to 18 months, this whole umbrella of backup and recovery, from traditional backing up to tape into what customers are now used to understanding and wanting to do with flash copy, safeguarded copy, virtual tape library, offloading into the cloud, all of these part of that Virtualize suite. It's going to give a complete set of options for customers to think about how they want to start, deploying some or all of this technology. And I fully expect that the safeguarded copy in the next 12 to 18 months is just going to grow and grow. And with the cost per gigabyte of IBM storage being as low as it is, then I think a lot of people will want to sort of, expand into this area sooner rather than later. So a great addition to what in effect is a great product anyway.
Awesome.
That's fantastic, and I think that's a great way to close this section. So Stan and Jack from Chilli IT, many thanks for joining us. Thanks for testing it, and we wish you well in your continued proof of concepts with clients. So thank you very much, both of you.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Bye.